What's poppin', everybody? It's your girl Azalea and welcome back to my channel. So before I get started with this video, I just want to let everybody know that YouTube has officially monetized me. So I'm very excited to be bringing you guys fresh new content that includes story times on my life, my transgender journey, get ready with me, and definitely story times on my jail and prison experience that I know a lot of you guys are really eager to hear about. And without further ado, let's get started. So June 12, 2021 marked my 1 year on HRT shots. HRT stands for hormone replacement therapy and is used to help with the diagnosis of gender dysphoria and also helps someone transition from one sex to the other. For me, I am male to female, so I would be on a testosterone blocker and a type of estrogen. So my HRT journey began when I was about 18 years old, all the way until the day that I got out of prison. Thank God that I'm home. On March 12, 2020. With the hormone pills, I really didn't see much difference. I really didn't see much feminization. I just didn't really feel like they worked for me. I did start on 2 milligrams of estradiol and 100 milligrams of spironolactone twice a day. The things that I did notice with the HRT pills was that I did have a hard ball of tissue underneath my areola and nipple area. I noticed that my sex drive almost completely diminished, that I would no longer receive erections, I would no longer ejaculate, I would no longer really have that sexual desire anymore. Another thing that I did notice with the HRT pills was that my hairline did start receding a little bit. So it did help some of that hair regrow. I noticed that when I did scream, it was at a higher pitch. I did notice that my balls did shrink, probably half the size. Now onto the aspect of the body hair and facial hair. I didn't really see much of a change with my body and facial hair with the HRT pills. I feel like that kind of has to go more on a case-by-case basis, who you are as an individual, what your background is, your ethnicity, just kind of your genes, you know what I mean? I did notice that as I did get older, that my facial hair really started getting thicker. I noticed that my body hair did get a little bit thicker. I don't really grow that much body hair, never really have, but I definitely know that my facial hair really did start growing as I got into my early 20s. So I feel like that kind of just depends on a case-by-case basis. I feel like HRT is gonna work for you as an individual differently than it works for me, differently than it works for her, him, whatever. I was never 100% consistent on the hormone pills the whole 4 years that I was on it. I would play around with the doses a lot to kind of see what worked best for me. I would consult with my doctor a lot. I know that through prison, it's really hard to deal with the medical staff to kind of get your needs met. So you kind of just have to take matters into your own hands. I know that for me, the biggest thing was definitely the sexual desire and the sexual stamina that I did have. That was a really big concern for me. I definitely know that I was really nervous about whether or not that I was fertile. So I kept stopping, maybe for 6 months. I would stop for 3 months. I would lower my spironolactone because, eventually I did want to have kids. I do recommend before you start HRT, if you do want to reproduce in the future, to definitely go freeze your sperm, freeze your eggs, do whatever you got to do, because that was a mistake that I did make. I do want to have a family in the future, but I just wasn't super aware of that in the beginning. I know it's really expensive. I know a lot of insurances don't cover that kind of stuff, but it was such a big piece for me that I did want to freeze my sperm, but I just didn't have the resources, not in prison, not when I was young. I just didn't have the money for it. So if you do want to reproduce, I cannot tell you anymore, please go freeze your sperm or go freeze your eggs. It was the biggest mistake that I ever made. And I definitely know that since I didn't do that in the beginning, I was never consistent. I never took it 100%. I was just so all over the place. I don't feel like I got the full effect of the HRT pills that I could have if I would have just been 100% consistent. So please make sure you have all your areas covered before you do start HRT. Now moving forward onto this past year of my HRT shots, I have seen so many drastic changes with the shots than I did on the HRT pills. I found a dose that works really well for me. Currently, I am on 50 milligrams of spironolactone once a day and 1 milliliter of HRT shots, delstrogen, every other week. Now, like I had mentioned before, everybody's dose is gonna differ. It's gonna vary on a case-by-case basis, depending on you as an individual, what works best for you. So I would definitely consult with your doctor. I know this dosage works for me. I know that my biggest thing was that I wanted to be sexually active. I wanted to feel good when I was having sex. Make sure that I was sexually satisfied. I did put myself on a lower dose of spironolactone. It is a testosterone blocker, so I am still able to function down there. I know a lot of people aren't really comfortable talking about that. I'm very comfortable talking about that. I feel like it's a very big topic that needs to be discussed so that people understand what they're getting into. And now I'm happy at the dose that I'm at. I feel completely satisfied, and you know, I'm seeing so much changes for the better. So moving on to the fat distribution part of the HRT, I have seen so many changes. I've always been so skinny in my whole life. I'm still really skinny. It's really hard for me to gain weight. I know when I was younger and I was growing up, my family used to joke about me, saying that I would eat like a bird or that I would fly away in the wind or whatever their jokes were. It was just always about me being skinny. When I did get out of prison, I did weigh about 130 pounds and I looked like this. I have gained a little bit of weight since then, since being on the HRT shots. I don't feel like I've gained much weight. I just feel like the weight that I do have, it kind of shifted and moved to different parts of my body, such as my hips, my butt, my boobs, and a little bit in my face. And I know that a little bit in my arms, like right here, I felt a little bit. Like, I don't really work out or anything. I don't have like a diet. I kind of just live my life, you know what I mean? I'm not like that bougie, to be honest. I'm kind of just like a regular normal person living my life. And I haven't gained much weight, but it's definitely went into places that I do like. I want to show you guys pictures of my body now versus my body then when I first started the HRT, so you guys can kind of see. I hope that they pop up. Let's see if I get this right. It's kind of my first time. I'm still new to this editing thing, so we'll see where it goes. A big change that I did see with the HRT shots was my mood. It intensified so much. Since I can remember, I've always been a really emotional person, very in touch with my feminine side. I know growing up, I was always in therapy, even when my mom got out of prison, being in the system. You know, you always get put in therapy. People are always just trying to help you. And honestly, I feel like therapy does help me. I do need it. I'm kind of like an emotional wreck. I'm a big roller coaster. I don't know if I'm bipolar. I've been through a lot in my life, and I know that I have so much emotional trauma, mental trauma. I've had a lot of like sexual abuse happen to me. I've had a lot of physical abuse. I've had so much emotions built up inside of me that I feel like I might need to be in therapy probably for the rest of my life. I'm not in therapy currently just because I'm trying to like get my life together. But I did notice that with the hormone shots, it intensified everything. It makes my mood swings so much more drastic. I know like right before it's time to do my hormone shot, I go on a rampage. I'll either be crying, I'll be so angry, I'll be devastated, sometimes I'll be suicidal. I just never know. I'm such an emotional wreck that I feel like I do need like a mood stabilizer or just somebody to talk to. Normally I just talk to my best friend Christian to like kind of like vent to him, but my moods are just all over. I know that sometimes I don't know how to express myself, I guess, in the right way. And I know that I'm not always nice to the people around me, which isn't, you know, great. I'm not going to say I'm the nicest person. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys and put up a front and be like, oh, I'm just this great person. No, I'm a regular person. I've been through some and the hormones make it crazy. So just be prepared to be a psycho. Well, probably not a psycho. I've just been through too much. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't maintainable. I'm not saying that I'm to the point where I'm freaking gonna burn down building or something. All I'm saying is that I've had a lot of stuff happen to me, and I know that a lot of stuff has happened in my life to where that it kind of just intensifies everything. And I know a lot of stuff in my life in the last year has been really intense. My boyfriend's died. My sisters went off the deep end. Like, I just have had a lot of stuff happen in the last year. It's crazy, but you know what? I got this. If you want to do the shots, it's gonna be intense. Just know that you probably need somebody to talk to. You're gonna need somebody to vent to. You're gonna need somebody who understands you around, somebody who gets it. You know what I mean? Just know that, like, we're all in this together, you know? Period. Now on to my favorite part about the hormone shots is the breast development. I've seen so much development in the last year with my breasts. Here's the picture of when I first started the hormone shots. I literally had nothing. Maybe like a little ball of breast tissue, and that's about it. I've seen so much more development. Now I have an undercup. They're getting more fuller. They are hurting so much. I feel like in the last like 2 months, they've hurt the most out of the whole year. I know that as they've gotten bigger, that they're starting to grow faster. I'm probably not done developing yet. I know I have about 1 more year left on it to really kind of see how much more breast development I get, but I definitely know in these last few months they have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like not stopping. And I'm cool with it. I'm like, period, as they should. I just hope that they get to like a good size before I go get my breast augmentation, because that is definitely my goal. I know like a lot of people are interested in breast augmentation who are transitioning. I would recommend you guys wait until after your full, 2-year hormone development before you guys really start looking into surgeries. I know I've only been on mine for about a year. I'm still waiting a little bit longer. I'm probably gonna get my surgeries next year. Just make sure that you consult with your doctor and whatever works for you. Alright, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you guys did like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already.
And make sure to turn on post notifications so you guys know when I do post another video. The next video will be about me and my gel experience with the women. So go ahead and stay tuned and make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And thank you guys so much for watching. And the last thing that I would like to say is happy Pride Month. I did do a transgender look. I hope you guys really liked it. And I appreciate and I love all of you guys. Shine bright, my auras. See you guys next time.